Hello, this is Jammal. Today is March 1st, 2024. I recently did some compilation of Muniru Akande Singer's work. And in that compilation, there was a track that was titled Orin Olubadan. I found it interesting, and I felt like throwing it in the middle of the compilation didn't do enough justice to the song. So I'm gonna pull it out and just do that by itself. First, let's cover Muniru Singer. Muniru Singer, who is Muniru Singer? Muniru Akande Singer was a Sakara Yoruba genre musician, primarily based in Lagos Island in the 1940s, 1950s. Clearly before I was born. I only heard about him later on in my adult life when I stumbled into one of his work and I ran it by my forerunners and they told me, oh, that's Muniru Singer, that's Abibu Kekere. So his nickname was Abibu Kekere. Who is Abibu Agba? Abibu Agba is the patriarch himself in the Yoruba Sakara genre. Abibu Olatunji Ayinde Oluwa. So that's Abibu Agba. But Muniru Singer tried model his style later on to Abibu to be able to take off. I'm wondering if he is one of the musicians that Abibu Oluwa was referring to when in one of his lyrics, he says, Agbon fara jofe, ológede ń ṣe bí òfé o. Agbọ́nràn fara jofe, ológe ń ṣe bí òfé o. Agbọ́nràn is a Senegalese parrot. It looks exactly like African grey parrot, but it's more of a greenish color. But it can't talk or mimic human conversation like the grey African parrot. So Abibu said, Agbọ́nràn fara jofe, ológe ń ṣe bí òfé o. Now let's get back to Muniru Singer. In this Orin Olubadan that he did, like they were doing in the 40s and in the 50s with some of their EPs, they will have two songs in each side of the plate. The first song on this Orin Olubadan was about the successive crowning, bring them to the throne, and then dying of the Olubadan of Ibadan. Olubadan is the king of Ibadan, and Ibadan is 60 miles north, about 60 miles north of Lagos, Nigeria, in the interior of the Yoruba land. In fact, it was the largest city in West Africa when I was growing up. I don't know the population right now in relation to the rest of the West African city. So Ibadan is a Yoruba town. And the history of Yoruba, of that Yoruba town, evolves from Yoruba defending external threat from the northern Nigerians that were coming to raid or attack the Yoruba land. They succeeded in dismantling the original Old Oyo, and then the Old Oyo moved to where the current Oyo is. But it was the fighters in Ibadan that were able to help to repel and defeat the numerous excursion. So Ibadan was where most of Yoruba strongmen were congregating at. So he ended up being a city, as it gets to its maturation, it ended up being a city of warriors. So they never really had a king. So they have the warriors, the Mogajis, the leaders of the clans that constituted, the number of those clans that constituted this city. And the arrangement they had was that they will have leaders, each leader of the clans is entitled to be an Olubadan. So if, say, the current Olubadan died, the next oldest on the throne Olubadan will move to be the Olubadan. So say, for example, they have 12 clans. See, the current Olubadan is from clan number 1. He dies. The next clan number 2, in terms of longevity on the throne, is next. And they scoop like that. Well, there's an advantage to that there will be maturity in navigating and negotiating whatever conflict that's going on within the city. By the way, if you guys are hearing the noise, the rain on the skylight. So let's just ignore it. We'll keep going. But the drawback for that system of governance is that by the time they have a leader, those leaders are already old. So they never really had it. They wouldn't have the probability of them having a young and vibrant Olubadan is low. So by the time they pick their Olubadan, will be like 70-something-year-old man. So they will end up with numerous agbagba migo, and an elderly person being their Olubadan. Well, if we follow through with the law of probability, then that increases the chances that there's not going to be someone in the throne for too long. So in this song that Muniru Singer did, he sang about how 3 Olubadans were appointed, crowned, and died within 6 months of each other. The first Olubadan, so I then went ahead and researched it. I'm like, okay, who is he? Who are these 3 Olubadans that he was talking about? Dug into the Ibadan archives and found that true to Muniru Singer's recording documentation, he was absolutely correct. In 1946, the Olubadan Okunola Abbas died. Then they pick another Olubadan, Akere became an Olubadan. Became an Olubadan in 1946, died in 1946. Then they went ahead and picked Oyetunde Bioku. Beyobaku. He too died in 1946. And like I told you, a lot of these people are warriors. For example, Oyetunde Bioku, he was an archer. Those people that are very good with their bow and arrow. He was a strong warrior in Ibadan. So they have 3 Olubadan that died. So in that lyrics, Muniru Singer then mentioned a name. He said, Agbaje Onwowani, do something about this. Then who is Agbaje? Agbaje is Salami Agbaje. He was a businessman, successful businessman. He was born in Lagos by an Afaleke who was called Mr. Durowoju, who was an Iseyin man. Iseyin, someone say Iseyin, someone say Iseyin. Iseyin is not far from Oyo, but he was an Islamic teacher in Lagos. And Salami Agbaje's mom, Sinatu, she was actually an Ibadan woman. Agbaje was born in Lagos. But before his teenage years, he moved to his maternal homeland at Ibadan. One thing led to another. He became a businessman, trading with the Europeans. Remember now, we're still under colonial era. Nigeria hasn't got independent yet. So he was trading products and produce from the interior of the Yoruba land, traded for the European to export. And then he, in turn, buys commodities from the Europeans and take it interland to sell. And by this time, the colonial government, they've already started the railway train construction in Nigeria. Lagos was the terminus, and they were building all the way into the interior. He also got involved in supplying them the timbers to lay the bed for the rail track. So he made a lot of money. Well, he became one of the very, very successful Yoruba business individual. Well, the mortgagees didn't like how strong he was getting, 1. 2, they kept hitting him up to dole out money to them. And he's of the principle that it's better that you teach people how to fish, but get them employment, get them to be productive, and then they'll be able to live comfortably on their own and sustain themselves than to just be handing out money to them. So in Yoruba, I'll say this. Agbaje Salami, ó ṣe àwọn mọ́gàjí Ìbàdàn. Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tó ṣe àwọn ni pé kò ń fowó tọrẹ yànfùnyànfùn. ó kàn fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn máa ṣiṣẹ́ kó bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ kó lè dá dúró fún ara wọn. Bọ̀ kó fowó tọrẹ yànfùyànfùn. But before he died, he became Balogun of Ibadan. But the Mogaji is successful. They were able to block him from being an Olubadan. So it was that financially successful and powerful. And that's why he was saying, that's why in the lyric he was saying, Agbaje Shoun, do something about this, because he knows he's an heavyweight within the community. Ibadan, Eda Duro, Ibadan, Eda Duro. So that's the background story. The second part of that plate, he sang about the wife snatchers. So that's the second part of that song. But the first part of it is Orin Olubadan. So we could tackle it. My dog, I think, is that I saw someone park in front of our house, or a family member is pull up. Well, let me take a peek and see. Someone probably parked. All right, so let's take a crack at the song. Okay. Nílé Olúyọ̀lé ìmísí ọgàn. Nílé Olúyọ̀lé ní ìmísí ọgàn. Nílé Olúyọ̀lé o. Bóyá ò ṣe jẹ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká fi sílẹ̀ lọ Ìbàdàn. Èyí jẹ́ lé. Ká fi sílẹ̀ lọ o. Ìbàdàn èyí jẹ́ lé. Láìpẹ́ oṣù mẹ́fà síra wọn, Olúbàdàn tó mẹ́ta tó wàjà o. Olúbàdàn tó di mẹ́ta tó wàjà. Dádúró, ẹ dádúró Ìbàdàn, ẹ dádúró. Agbájé òun kọ́ ni Ògúntúndé mọ́ta ní Olúbàdàn o. Kí mi àyíndá ìtàfà ẹ̀mí o. It's gone to the next part of the plate. Mr. Bàbẹ̀rẹ̀ o, bẹ̀bẹ̀ dáríjì wọ́n o. Lè dáríjì wọ́n, ìyàwó mẹ́rin tẹ́ǹgbàta òbínú. Máa fi gègéle, I'm going to stop. I'm going to put a stop to it. Ká máa fi gègéle. Àlàdé ẹjẹ́ ká gbáyà ọ̀lẹ. Ká gbáyà mẹ́rin. Wọ́n láwọn fi ṣèbínú. Bí ta ni ọkọ̀ Fàlílà rí Làtífà sówó kò sóògùn o. Gbáyàgbáyà àfà máa bínú. Ẹni tó bá lọ báyàwó mi again, báyàwó mi tọ́dún bá kọjá, máa lọ ka mọ́lé, máa bá màmá ẹ̀ sùn. So ó ní nílé Olúyọ̀lé ìmẹ̀sì ọ̀gọ̀ nílé Olúyọ̀lé o bí ó yóò ṣe é jẹ ẹ jẹ́ ká fi sílẹ̀ lọ o Ìbàdàn èyí ṣáàlé bóyá ò ṣe é jẹ ẹ jẹ́ ká fi sílẹ̀ lọ o Ìbàdàn èyí ṣáàlé láláì póṣù mẹ́fà síra wọn Olúbàdàn di mẹ́ta tó wájà o ẹ dá dúró Ìbàdàn ẹ dá dúró Àgbájé òun wò wọ́n ní ogun ti dé mọ́ta nítorí Olúbàdàn o. Then he went to the second portion of it about wife snatchers. Bọ́rọ̀ ẹ ti yé mi tìyá mi yù mí Àyìnlá ọ̀rẹ́ mi Mùsítàfà bẹ̀ mí o mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ dáríjì wọ́n o. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi Mùsítàfà bẹ̀ mí o mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ dáríjì wọ́n o. A ò lè dáríjì wọ́n ó dìyàwó mẹ́rin tẹ́ ń gbà ta ò bínú. Ó yàtá máa fi gègé lé Àlàdé ẹ jẹ́ ká gbàyà ọ̀lẹ o. Ó yàtá máa fi gègé lé Àlàdé ẹ jẹ́ ká gbàyà ọ̀lẹ o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbàyà ọ̀lẹ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mẹ́rin ni àwọn ò fi ṣèbínú. Àwọn bíi tani àwọn bíi ọkọ Wàsílà bíi tani àwọn bíi ọkọ Fàlílà tó tún wá dorí ọkọ Làtífà bí òṣòwò kò sóògùn o. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ti di gbayagbaya. Mùsítàfà Àlàdé tẹni Mùsítàfà Àlàdé tí ní kí má bínú ẹni bá gbàyàwó ẹni lọ báyàwó mi kò sọ pé ẹni tó bá gbàyàwó ni ẹni tó bá lọ báyàwó òun ẹni bá lọ báyàwó mi again ẹni tó bá lọ báyàwó òun again ẹni bá lọ báyàwó mi bọ́dún bá kọjá màá lọ kà mọ́lé màá bá ìyá ẹ̀ sùn o. Ó máa dúró ti after àtọ́dún bá ti kọjá kò fẹ́ wàhálà because tó bá lọ ṣe before ọdún tó bá lọ bá fáyà kò ní ó lè má rọ̀ọ́dún á dúró tọ́dún bá ti tó bá ṣe ọdún náà kárí ọdún ó rẹ́yìn láti take the risk. Anyway, so that's the song and that's but more so the one I wanted you guys to focus on the historical documentation by Muniru Singer about the successive death on the throne of the Olubadan of Ibadan. 3 successive deaths within 6 months. So I will replay the whole song now and I won't say anything much. So as you guys can notice, the recording in 1940s, 1947-ish, it's mono, and the quality is not that great of the recording. But I like the fact that he historically documented what was going on in that habitat. And the lesson I also took from the Salami Agbaje, that is a pull and push of life. How do you help people? Do you just help them by constantly giving them money? Especially when they're young and able-bodied? And are you really helping them, or you more or less you handicapping them? Versus teaching them skills of work ethics, which will eventually give them financial freedom, economic freedom, and all the other entailing freedom that a man gets from being able to work with àtẹ́lẹwọ́ ẹni tí ò ní tán ni jẹ. So you can decide which one you think has the upper side. I've tried both, but I know which one I think is more effective. But you're gonna have to decide for yourself on which of the two sides you think is better. But remember, we're talking about dealing with humanity. Eventually, you only swear lẹ́nu. The same way they try to saw Agbaje Salami lẹ́nu. Whatever you do, have a clear conscience. Do your best and leave the rest. Guys, stay blessed. Leave comments. I'll check them out.